Russell Brand. Okay, but is that the only reason there will never be a Get Him to the Greek 2? Welcome to Beyond the Screen, I'm Nate, and this is the real reason Hollywood won't cast Russell Brand anymore. Number 10, loves love. Russell has always been a very vocal man when it comes to his love life. Talk shows are just another excuse for him to say his piece in public. In 2008, while appearing on the David Letterman show, Russell made jokes about his escapades, sleeping with several women who believed that he was in fact gay, then suggesting he made multiple women pregnant. He said that because he was so well dressed, people just assumed that he liked other men, claiming that it made women feel very safe around him. He concluded by joking about all of the women that he had impregnated and how the next generation was just gonna be little versions of him, and that sounds terrifying. During that same year, he appeared at the Video Music Awards, and he would not stop roasting the Jonas Brothers about wearing purity rings. On the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, he discussed his own purity, describing in graphic detail why he just loved to make love, his favorite bits and bobs, all that jazz. He then drew attention to his pant zipper, which was on an angle, and claimed that it was meant to be a way to draw attention to his nether regions. Coming super out of left field, he then discussed his spiritual beliefs, claiming that he loved all and did not deal in hate. This guy is a weirdo, but number 9, that's not all. Russell has a problem keeping his hands to himself, in case you didn't already know that, and in 2012, Russell appeared on an episode of 60 Minutes in Australia. The host of the segment, Liz Hayes, was lost for words when interviewing Russell. During the show, Russell had been driving them both around in a golf cart before crashing into another one without paying attention. As they exited the cart, Russell yelled at her and blamed her for the crash, claiming she had taken her eyes off the road because things were getting too fruity. He walked away, but not before he grabbed her face and planted one just right on her lips. Yeah, Liz was shocked as she turned away from the actor, but Russell grabbed her face again. He then fiddled with her chest and he said, "I can undo your stuff just like that," and then forced her to adjust her undergarments. Speaking after the incident, Liz was clearly uncomfortable with the moment and did not think that it was funny in the slightest. Number 8, Katy Perry. The darkest information being kept secret about Russell Brand was of course from his ex-girlfriend and wife, Katy Perry, a woman who not only knew about these allegations but had actually kept the information secret. When they first met, Russell wanted to find an equal, but once he got that equal, according to Katy, he could no longer handle the equalness. She went on to say that he became very controlling as time went on, and while at first she felt responsible for their split, she discovered the truth. Now the truth was something that she, quote, couldn't necessarily disclose because she keeps it locked in a safe for a rainy day. It sounds like Katy not only knew about all this misconduct in 2013, but actively kept that information to herself. Had she come forward, this entire situation could have been addressed a very long time ago, but the victims were only willing to share their experiences after being hounded by reporters for years. Whether she planned on revealing the information at a later date or not, she denied the people that Russell heard a chance to speak up as soon as possible. Number 7, the general consensus. The general consensus is that this man's not good at first impressions. Most of the accounts being brought forward claim that Russell has been a tyrant since the first day he's met any woman in his life, with each allegation being worse than the last one. Katy Perry's first interaction with Brand was filming for a scene in the 2009 comedy Get Him to the Greek, a spin-off of Forgetting Sarah Marshall featuring his character Aldus Snow and Jonah Hill as a record label employee. Katy made a cameo appearance in a scene that was ultimately cut from the final movie, but the scene saw Katy and Russell's characters locking lips during the opening montage. Katy told Glamour back in 2010 that she was super stoked to film this scene, but it was their second meeting that really should have been Katy's first warning sign. They rediscovered each other when Russell took the stage at the MTV Video Music Awards in 2009. Katy flung a bottle at him and he caught it, and it was love at first sight. After the show, Russell was furious, but when Katy approached him, he claimed that she was fiery and caught his attention. Katy went on to describe their interaction and what Russell attempted to do that very same night. Katy admitted that Russell attempted to force himself on her, but she was successfully able to steer him clear. Russell was furious, but he listened to what she said and he apparently walked away. 4 months later, they were engaged. Katy may not have understood what was happening at the time, but considering the horror stories coming out about Russell these days, she may have saved herself from being the first in a long line of his victims. Number 6. Boy was toxic. The relationship between Russell and Katy Perry was the most toxic celebrity coupling to ever come out of Hollywood in the last 15 years. Katy admitted that while she was married to Russell Brand, the topic of starting a family was a regular conversation, and it honestly made her pretty uncomfortable. For Katy, it was very simple. She did not want to start a family with someone someone who she was pretty confident would use the family as an excuse to control her, but Russell is a wholesome family man who's just ready to settle down, you know, have some kiddos. Katy admitted during an interview with Marie Claire that she was scared of Russell trying to make her a stay-at-home mom, and when these two were a couple, Russell had some popularity in films and TV, but Katy Perry was Katy Perry. She kissed a girl and she liked it. She was hot and cold. She blew up like a firework. Make them go pop, pop, pop. As the relationship went on, the conversation... Oh, the teleprompter glitched. There we go. As the relationship went on, the conversation stayed the same. Not ready till she knows that he's going to be a good dad and let her do her thing. Well, that was certainly not the case, and Katy believes that her unwillingness to bear a child is one of the main causes of Russell's decision to leave her. Whether that's true or not, Katy made the smartest decision of her life when she said no to this man. Clearly a word that he was used to hearing, but apparently he is known to ignore. This guy sucks. Number 5. Brief marriage. Now, marriages do not have an exact timeline. Some last for 50 years, some last for 50 days. For Katy and Russell, their marriage was cut short after only 14 months together. As previously mentioned, Russell was the real one who decided to call it quits, seemingly out of the blue. In the years since the divorce, Katy just maintains that Russell was slowly losing interest in her as a partner. According to Katy, Russell was jealous of her fame and would even attempt to berate her into thinking that he was the superior in their relationship. When he decided to call it quits, she blamed herself at first, but soon discovered a secret truth about Russell that apparently she keeps in her back pocket, but I think we all know what that secret truth is. Number 4. The split. The moment Russell decided to split up with Katy Perry was documented and released to the entire world. Breaking up with someone over text is a pretty stupid thing to do, but it's one of the many things you learn as you grow up. Face-to-face kinda needs to happen when it's something serious, like a breakup or a fight or a personal issue. While most people learn that by the time they're, in their mid-20s, Russell is almost 50 and he still doesn't seem to get the memo. Katy released a documentary concert called Katy Perry Part of Me, containing a clip that really should have stalled Russell's career the moment that it made air, but oh well. The clip shows Katy lying down in a makeup chair, sobbing, and being told that she can either call it quits or continue with the show. She had just received a text from Russell essentially asking her for a divorce. After a moment, she stands and she's good to go. During an interview in 2013 with Vogue, Katy told the outlet that she could not divulge the specific message that Russell had sent her, but to put it into perspective, she had not heard from him for 2 years following his cryptic text. We have to wonder what words he used and why he decided that a text was the best way to deliver this news. Literally makes no sense. Number 3. The BBC. BBC Channel 4 News has been a staple in the world of British television for years, and by staple, I mean they're responsible for some of the worst celebrity interviews you've ever seen, but we've talked about that in a previous list. Channel 4 is on this list because they have all the Russell secrets wrapped up into a neat little bow. Not only did the outlet literally help launch this man's career, but they have recently been at the forefront of this media storm thanks to a little documentary centered around Russell that clearly outs him as a vile and disgusting man. He's treated so many people so terribly over the years, with justice finally being served and the proof clearly being in the pudding. We will keep you updated on the situation as it goes, but we'll just keep giving you all these fun updates for now and doing breakdown lists. For instance, the next entry, number 2, Aldus Snow. Aldus Snow is a character that Russell played first in the film Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and then reprising the role in a spin-off called Get Him to the Greek with Jonah Hill. The worst thing about this character is just how easy it is for Russell to get into the character. While doing press for Get Him to the Greek, Russell was compared to his on-screen counterpart all of the time, but he would constantly deny any relation. In fact, during an interview with MTV, he told Laramie Legal that he was much more cool, mellow, slow, and not as silly as some people might think. We all know that's not true. Jonah Hill has gone on record saying that filming with Russell was difficult, and while they were both dedicated to the craft, Jonah just took the project a bit more seriously than Russell did. Aldus Snow was set to be a regular character on the big screen, but following the release of Russell's movie Arthur, his acting career as a leading man was basically gone. And at number 1, Banished. The comedian turned actor Russell Brand may be best known for Aldus Snow, or maybe Bedtime Stories with Adam Sandler. That's a great movie too. Or you might know him from his fake musical chops with the real fake band Infant Sorrow. But what many people may not know is just how much he really hates the royal family. He took to YouTube to express his opinions and declared that it was ridiculous to have a queen and having to be forced to call her Your Majesty. Well, I don't understand what the problem is with that. It's a term of endearment. He dug his hole even deeper when in his book Revelation, he criticized the Queen for her German heritage, calling her a word that I'm not allowed to say on YouTube and don't Google it. Needless to say, this was a perfectly logical reason to ban Russell Brand from ever entering the palace gates in his entire life. He's actually one of the few celebrities in the world to receive this honor, so it really should have been the first big red flag when it comes to this dude and his misdeeds. But if there's one thing that Russell is well known for, it's his political and religious rants, which are usually pushed onto people without their knowledge or permission. And by that I mean you probably paid good money to see this man live expecting a big comedic performance, but instead you were met with pretty messed up ideas about religion and the world in general. During one special on Netflix, Russell even compared himself to Jesus a few times and gave several long-winded examples that I really don't want to repeat because just no. This man has some truly dark beliefs, and if you're curious what they are, just wait a year or two when the crime documentary gets released. Russell Brand, a special brand of evil. I'm a genius. Russell is surely in for a rough year, and it's looking like his career is where it belongs, up in flames. Until our next update, thank you guys for stopping beyond the screen. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and follow the channel for more celebrity content each and every day. See you next time.